Hey, so if you have a dog that barks at other dogs on site when you're out on a walk, I'm going to guess one of the pieces of information you've been given by other Chihuahua owners and possibly even trainers is to try and distract your dog with a treat. So it looks a little bit like this. You're walking along the street, your dog sees another dog, it starts barking, yapping, possibly lunging to get towards that other dog. You are then going to produce a treat, you're going to stick it in front of your dog's nose, and it's all going to be okay. So that's the theory behind distracting your dog with a treat when they bark at other dogs. Now, if you have a dog that is barking and lunging at other dogs, I'm going to bet that you've tried that and it didn't work. All that happened was that your dog completely ignored it and then just carried on barking and lunging at that other dog. So I'm going to unpack that for you and explain why this distract with a treat approach isn't the best approach to use and why it's not working for your dog. So you're walking along, your dog sees another dog and it starts barking. Okay, it's probably a routine that you're probably very, very familiar with. But what is happening for your dog? Why is the treat that you produce not having the effect that you want it to have? So let's have a look at it from your dog's point of view. So they are barking and lunging at this other dog. And the reason they are barking and lunging at this other dog is because they find the presence of that dog worrying. The presence of that dog is creating anxiety for him, and his arousal level has gone right up and has pushed the dog from a thinking headspace into a fight or flight headspace. So your dog is no longer in their thinking brain. They are purely in fight or flight. So when this happens and your dog is in this headspace, they're in this flight or flight headspace, chances are they probably don't really even know you're there, and communicating to them or anything to them is going to be really difficult. It's kind of like, I've used this analogy before, but it's kind of a bit like trying to teach a child who's having a tantrum something that needs some thought, okay? You are not going to be able to communicate with them. And it's the same for our dogs. Their arousal level has gone right up. They're in flight or flight mode. Their thinking brain or their prefrontal cortex has just handed the whole show over to the amygdala, and your dog is no longer thinking. Now, along with your dog being in flight or flight, it will also have moved into a sympathetic nervous state. The sympathetic nervous state is the state that deals with flight or flight. Am I going to run from this, or am I going to go in swinging? Now, in order for a dog to eat, the parasympathetic nervous state needs to be in play. Now, if it's not in play, the digestive system will shut down. And this is quite often why you find a dog that's in a high stress when you're out on a walk or something and you give them something to eat, they just spit it out. They don't actually even have to be having a meltdown. They might just be a little bit stressed and they can't eat. So another reason this distraction technique that people talk about is not a good idea is because you're also training your dog in the situation. So you are trying to give your dog instructions on how to deal with something when it's all kicking off. So again, go back to the child analogy of the child having a tantrum. You are trying to show them something and teach them something when their headspace isn't in the right place for learning. So that treat that you're dangling in their face means nothing to your dog. What they might have snatched it out of your hand a few minutes ago, but now it means nothing. They are just not going to focus on that at all. So what can we do with the information that our dog is giving us? Our dog is telling us very, very clearly that they do not want to be in that situation. And one of the things we need to do as owners is take that information on board and stop putting our dogs in situations that they don't have the skills for. And what I mean by that is we stop putting them in the situation where they feel the need to defend themselves and they've got no other option but to bark at other dogs. Because what's happening is you are rehearsing that anxiety and you are rehearsing that behavior. So it very, very quickly is going to become a default behavior. So what do we need to do? Now, resolving Chihuahua reactivity is a multi-prong approach, and it's not something that I can just cover in one YouTube video. But you need to look at the skills that your dog needs in order to cope. So majority of dogs that are barking and lunging at other dogs need to learn to become dog neutral. They need to be able to go, I see you, but you're none of my business. I am here with my owner and I'm focused on my owner. Now, in order for your dog to be able to think like that, they need to be calm. They need to be in their thinking headspace and not have the amygdala running the show. So first of all, we need a dog that can think in a higher arousal situation. Now that takes confidence and that takes optimism. And these are skills that we will help you teach your dog in Chihuahua School. Chihuahua School is our online program which will help you build the skills that you need for your dog to have the confidence to be dog neutral. Dog neutral is socialization. It's not going up to every other dog and going hello, because that is causing chaos out there in the parks and in wherever people are walking their dogs. Okay, your dog needs to learn to stay with you, stay within a proximity zone with you, and look over there and go, nah, none of my business. And this is what we will teach you how to teach your dog in Chihuahua School. So the link is below. If you want to check out our information page, then please do so. Or if you've got any questions, just DM me and I'll come back to you.